Example, so we have 8 over 10 and we have to simplify these fractions to the simplest form. How can we solve this problem? Now, for you to simplify fractions, you need to have your multiplication table at hand. You need to know multiplication very well. Okay, so the first question you ask yourself is, which number can divide both the numerator and then the denominator of the fraction exactly without a remainder? That is the number that you use. So by that, if you look at this, the only number apart from 1, so apart from the number 1, the only number that can go into 8 and 10 exactly without any remainder is the number 2. Now, 4 can go into 8, but 4 cannot go into 10 exactly. The same way, 5 can go into 10, but will not go into 8 exactly. So the only number which satisfies the criteria here is 2. What that means is that we are going to express this fraction, or we are going to expand the fraction so that we can cancel and have the simplified version. So which number will you multiply by 2 over here to get 8? That is 4. So 2 multiplied by 4 will give us 8. Now, the same 2 will be at the bottom, multiplied by a certain number to give you 5. So which number will you multiply by 2 to give you 10? That would be the number 5. So from here, all we have to do is we can see 2 common at the top and then the bottom over here. So these 2 will cancel these 2. And so therefore, our final answer is now 4 over 5. So that means if we simplify 8 over 10, we are going to get 4 over 5 as our answer. Alright, let's have a look at another example. So let's say I have 4 over 10. 4 over 10. Now if you look at it, which number can divide 4 and 10 exactly without any remainder? Now in this case as well, 2 will be the number that can divide 4 and 10 exactly without a remainder. So it means that 2 is common for both numbers. Now I ask myself, which number will I multiply by 2 to get 4? That will be 2. So 2 multiplied by 2 will give me 4. Now for 10, which number will I multiply by 2, the 2 over here, to get 10? That will be 5. So now this is equal to, I have 2 here and then 2 here. So I cancel them and I have 2 over 5 as my final answer. So it means if I simplify 4 over 10, I get 2 over 5 as my answer. Okay, so let's have a look at more examples. So let's say I have 5 over 45 and I'm to simplify this fraction. How will I do that? I do the exact same thing like I did with the previous first 2 examples. So I ask myself again, which number can divide 5 and 45 exactly without a remainder? Now if you look at this case, we know that 5 can go into itself 1 and then 5 can go into 45 9 times. So 5 is our answer over here. 5 is going to be the number that can go into 5 itself and then 45. So it means I'll have 5 common for both numbers. Now, which number multiplied by 5 will give me 5? That will be 1. And then which number multiplied by 5 will give me 45? That is 9. So it means that if I cancel my 5 and 5 over here, I'm going to have 1 over 9 as my answer, or as my simplified fraction form. Alright, so let's have a look at more examples to actually appreciate what we are doing. So let's say we have just some random examples. Let's say example number 1. Let's say we have 8 over, let's say 20. Okay, so 8 over 20. How can we solve this problem? Now I'm going to do this in 2 different ways so that we can actually appreciate what we are talking about. Now if you look at 8 and 20, there are more than one number or there is more than a number that can go into both of them. If we look at it, 2 can go into 8, and then 2 can go into 20. At the same time, 4 can go into 8 exactly without any remainder, and 4 can go into 20 without any remainder. So I'm going to use 2 and 4 for us to appreciate and see if we'll get the same answer at the end. So I'm going to use 2 for the first one. So therefore, it means that I have 2 common for both numbers over here. So I ask myself, 2 multiplied by which number will give me 8? So that will be 4. Now for the second one, I have 2 here already. Now which number will I multiply by 2 to give me 20? That is equal to 10. So over here, I cancel the 2 and then the 2 here. I have 4 over 10 over here. Now if you look at 4 and 10, you realize that they are still somehow big and they can still be reduced because there's a number that can go into 4 and 10 again to further simplify it. So over here, this will still be equal to, which number will go into 4 and 10 exactly without a remainder? 2 again. So I use 2 here and then 2 here as I did in the first case. Now over here, which number multiplied by 2 will give me the 4 that I have over here? That will be another 2. And then which number will I multiply by 2 to give me 10? That is 5. So I cancel the 2 over here, and then my final answer becomes 2 over 5. Now if you look at it, 2 over 5, there is no number apart from 1 that can go into both numbers without a remainder. So 2 over 5 becomes our final answer in this case. Now in the second case, I said I'll be using 4. So let me use a different color to do that. Okay, so for the second case, I'm going to use 4. So it means 4 is the number that can go into both sides. That is, 4 can go into 8 without a remainder, and 4 can go into 20 without a remainder. So I have 4 at the top here, then 4 at the bottom over here. Now, which number will I multiply by 4 to get 8? That is 2. And then, if I come to the denominator or the bottom, which number will I multiply by 4 to get 20? And that is 5. So if you look at it over here, 4 will cancel 4, and then I'm left with 2 and 5. So 2 over 5 here becomes my final answer. Now if you look at it, you realize that in both instances, our final answer is 2 over 5. So it means that when you have more than 2 numbers and you are certain that these 2 numbers can divide both the numerator and then the denominator without any remainder, it is preferable you use the bigger number to simplify your work. Because if you use the smaller number, as in this case, when we use 2, we realize that we have to simplify first, get an answer, further simplify we get before we got our final answer. But in the case when we use the bigger number, which is 4, by one step, and then we have our final answer. So this is how we simplify fractions in mathematics. So let's have a look at one more example so that we end this tutorial. So let's have a look at just some, so let's say I have 4 over 12. Okay, 4 over 12. What is going to be my answer if I simplify this? Now, if you look at 4 and 12, you ask yourself the question you ask. Which number, apart from 1, can go into 4 and 12 exactly without a remainder? Now, if you go through, or if you think about it very well, you realize that 2 can go into both of them without a remainder. 4 itself can also do the job. Now, like I said, it is preferable when you have more than one number, use the bigger number, okay, to simplify your work. So in this case, I'm going to use 2 and 4 again, so we see that 4 will make it simpler. Now if I use 2, it means that I will have 2 at the top here, 2 at the bottom, multiplied by certain numbers. Now which number multiplied by 2 will give me 4? That is 2. which number multiplied by 2 here will give me 12? That is 6. So I have 2 times 2, which is 4, and then 2 times 6, which is 6, which is 12, sorry. So from here, I cancel the 2. Now I have 2 over 6. Now for 2 and 6 too, you realize that it can further be simplified. That is, 2 can go into itself, and then 2 can go into 6 as well. So I'm going to have 2 multiplied by a number, then 2 multiplied by another number here again. Now which number will I multiply by 2 to give me 2? That is 1. And which number will I multiply by 2 to give me 6? That is 3. So from here, I cancel the 2, and then I have 1 over 3 as my final answer. Now in the second instance, if I use 4, I'm going to have 4 over 12 is equal to, if I'm using 4, it means 4 is common for both sides. So I have 4 at the top here, 4 at the bottom. Now if you look at it, 4 multiplied by 1 will give me 4, which is at the top over here. And then 4 multiplied by 3 here will give me 12, which is at the bottom over here. So this is equal to 4 cancel 4, then I have 1 over 3 as my final answer. So thank you so much for watching. This is how we simplify fractions in mathematics. It is very simple and it's very easy, so long as you know your multiplication table and you know how to multiply numbers to give you the fraction that you already have. Cancel the common ones, and then the remaining one becomes your final answer, provided it cannot be further simplified. So thank you once again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.